Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. So, not as interesting as a day as you would think in the way that you would think it with the FOMC today. Powell came out, raised by 50 basis points, and it's confusing. Market's up, SPY is up 405, and on his remarks, we're down to 396. We bounce back up to the 400s, come back down, 398, 397 level, find support, and we're holding out there, okay? So it kind of does one of these. It goes up, goes down, then kind of up again, and then down. So, but it's flat here. And it legitimately, a lot of this doesn't really make any sense. There's two sides of this that don't make sense. Okay, first of all, the bulls got 50 basis points. This whole run up that has happened in the last month and the whole topping pattern that's developed has been off of the idea that the Fed's going to do 50 basis points. Or that's what we all knew was going to happen. So did the big money think that they were going to do nothing? Or there was only going to be 25? Or they were going to reverse course? Like there's something magical going to fucking happen? First of all, the selling, I don't get the selling. Like, you got what you wanted. And you got inflation is coming down, you got your 50 basis points that caused that whole, go back to the daily. 2 weeks ago today, you had this big rally when Powell's like, oh, we're gonna do 50 basis points. We're gonna be slow the pace of hikes. So what are you thinking? This is what I don't get, why they're behaving the way they're behaving, why they're doing what they're doing, and really, what does this mean for some type of Santa Claus rally? Like this year-end rally, what does it mean, and when does that happen, right? So all of this is really, really confusing to me. Now, what I think is going to happen here is tomorrow, I think the futures guys are going to short this thing down. That's what I think. I think that coming tonight, I put on this over here. I bought a call and a put. I bought them way out of the money. It's not a lot of money between the two. It's like $100. So it's not a huge deal. Other than the thing that's frustrating to me is that it's not working at all, right? Or that it did for a little bit. And there's some things I think that are interesting about this. This contract, upon the put, I paid 46 cents for this put, okay? So the thing is, upon the end of FOMC, this value cut in half. It went from being worth $40 to basically being worth $20. I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Especially given the fact that I bought this put at 405 when the price was at 405 and it came down. So I'm not really understanding the extrinsic value of what's going on with my put contract. That shouldn't be right? And if they can just manipulate the price of puts like that, then how am I supposed to trade it if they can just all of a sudden be like, oh, now that's worth half? I legitimately don't, I'm somewhat flabbergasted. Like the call I get, we went the other direction, that thing's like a 415, it cost $50, I don't care, it was going either direction, but to have the put be this close to in the money or at the money, and with momentum in my favor, the trend is starting to move in my favor, how that happens, I don't know, it doesn't seem fair. And so I'm going to do some research and find that out. But that's not really the focus of the show. All right. Reasons for a Santa Claus rally. One is money managers, okay? There are money managers out there that want to close the S&P at the end of the year around 415. apparently if they close the S&P around 415, they get bonuses, and so they're very vested in trying to drive it up, which is a big piece of why I think that the Fed pivot has been a big narrative, because this stuff behind me on the grandest scale is a financial product. It's not the real, a lot of money is set to just sell this, right? So think of it like this. I'm a stock salesman, and it's my job to sell you to buy this. And I get paid a commission if I get you to buy this shares in this. Doesn't matter whether you make money or not, but I make money no matter what. So these guys, they get paid keeping people, first of all, from selling stock, and second, most importantly, from buying stock. So the whole Fed pivot thing, if it doesn't make sense, if you think that like you've got a rally based on some stupidity, you do. And it's not really stupidity. It's a sales pitch more than likely that these guys have built up in order to get people who don't know anything about stocks or economics to continue to buy. That, you know, like, oh no, the Fed's going to pivot, interest rates will come down, you're going to want to buy this, right? You're going to want to have it before the interest rates fall, right? Be ahead of, trying to be first, right? In ahead of things. So there is a bit of me that gets some of that understands some of that. The bonus thing seems a little wonky. It doesn't seem fair to me. And so it is frustrating. It is confusing. There are a few things, you know, as far as that stuff goes. So as far as the Santa Claus rally, okay, we'll see how their sales pitch continues to hold up on the Fed pivot. The Fed did come out today and they said, hey, we're raising the target Fed funds neutral rate to 5.1%, which they hike in 25 basis point increments. You know, like when we had 75, that was like a triple increment. So you've basically gone to 4.5% on the Fed funds rate. They can do, in order to get above 5.1%, they're going to have to do at least 325 basis points. Another question that I have really about this is, what's the Fed waiting for? What the fuck are they waiting for? If it's got to go to 5.1%, then take it there. You really think another 2 months is going to matter? And on top of that, you're going to let inflation abate that slowly? You're just going to keep this torturous process up. Take it up there. Quit fucking around. Like, and I thought this before. I honestly thought, like, Powell would have done better to come out and do a 100 basis point rate hike today. That would have put us at 5%, and it would have checked this whole market. And one of the real problems with these assholes selling this stock stuff, trying to get it to come up, and again, I am kind of mad because this isn't working, you know, and I keep trying different things that aren't working. So, mind you, I am upset, and I don't mind being upset. I am not a person who believes in emotionless trading or emotionless markets. There are guys who do, and most of them will tell you, I think they're full of shit and they could shove it up their ass. That's what I think. I think that this is important. I think in order to stay engaged with it, you have to have some sort of emotion in it. And you don't take a fucking trade because you think you're going to lose. So, and this is my journal, so guess what I get to do? Fucking vent. All right. So the thing is here, these guys pushing this Fed pivot narrative, okay, and they talked about this in the meeting, okay? This Fed pivot narrative is a problem. And the reason it's a problem is because the more this goes up, the more financial conditions loosen, the greater the wealth effect is. The greater the wealth effect is, the more likely it is that your retired parents are going to go buy that RV they don't fucking need, and that's going to make inflation stay high. So what are you, this market right now doesn't want to end inflation. They just want to sell stocks. That's what they want to do. They don't care how little their money is worth or anybody's or how healthy the economy is. All they want to do is sell stocks. And they keep loosening these stupid financial conditions, and it keeps taking longer to get through it. And the interest rates keep having to go higher and higher and higher. The Fed's not going to break something, these assholes are. So that's the thing that's really irritating to me. Again, partly because the trade didn't work, but also because I like my country. I like my economy. I like the things that we do here. I think it's great. But it's not healthy, and it hasn't been healthy for a long time. And part of it is these assholes. So it drives me bananas, you know, and especially because I'm trying to think about things. And I assume that I am thinking correctly. And because I don't have enough money to counteract these little price rises that don't make any sense, even if I'm correct, I got no way to compete against these assholes. So we gotta take down the mafia? I don't know what. Anyway, so, and too bad the SEC's too busy wasting their time with Sam Bankman-Fried. Maybe they could deal with this crap. So, anyway, that is my vent, that is my rant. As far as what are we gonna do with this, what are we gonna do here, I don't really know. It's not behaving correctly. And the thing is that I think it's not behaving the way you would think it is. It should. This thing should be eating shit, right? And you've got some, right? If you come in off of here, you got lower highs, right? And you're setting up to make yourself a lower low over here. So maybe, maybe tomorrow I get my gap down and this actually works out. I'm really hoping that. That's a distinct possibility for me, is that it will work out, we'll get the gap down, and this whole thing will work out. Again, the call was fair game. I'm not upset about that. However, that whole thing where they just cut half of my value out of my put for no reason, it wasn't theta, it wasn't even gamma. Maybe it has something to do with the VIX falling. I'm going to do research on it after this show, and we will have an answer as to why that seemed to happen out of the middle of nowhere. Especially because at the top here, right, at the top, I'm green on that thing. I'm green on my put, like $100. I was up $100. So I'm up 200% on my put, and it just out of nowhere, right? And I know they play these games. I know they don't want to pay those premiums, so they yo-yo. They will yo-yo the chart in order to not pay those premiums. So anyway, I will have to come up with part of my strategy, and this is part of like some of the testing I've been doing. Again, I got money. I'm gonna put like a $10,000 account together so I can trade seriously at a serious size and in like less compromised positions, because I'm gonna imagine that a put 6 months out at 390 is probably not taking the hit that this sucker was. So, and it's frustrating. So anyway, as far as that rally goes, okay. So first of all, we've got our money managers. They want to drive it up because they can. Right? And who knows? Maybe that call will come back tomorrow. Maybe we'll wake up, everything's gapped up like crazy. They'll be like, yeah, we got 50 basis points. Or unemployment will be higher, right? The Fed needs unemployment higher. I'm going to say during the holiday season, you're not getting a higher unemployment rate. You got seasonal labor out there. I just don't think they're going to be laying people off. And even Powell made a whole speech today about how companies, it's so hard to get labor, they're just willing to pay for it even though things are slower because they don't know when they're going to get some more. So that is, so again, I don't think your unemployment number is going to save the bull. You got your money managers, they've got their thing. Two, you have got, the second thing that you have here. Okay, so money managers is one. Two, you got Q4 earnings coming up. okay, in January. So there's a lot of stuff. I haven't seen a lot of compression with dividends. They haven't canceled a lot of dividends. In a lot of cases, there's been special dividends, although not as good as it was in like 2020. But again, a lot of people buy this stuff based on the dividend, and what they really want is they want to find a company that's giving the dividend. They don't care that much about the equity. They're basically purchasing for themselves an income, right? Especially because selling on equity costs so much in taxes. So that's it. Now, the other thing that is possible it could be a good chance of get worse before it gets better. You do have tax loss harvesting coming up, so there should be some selling coming, but that doesn't always equal selling. A lot of times that equals rotation. So you could have a rotation back into, like over here into the Dow. That is something that we typically tend to see. Okay, let's go ahead and run over the daily chart, and we will do the thing. Okay, so our trend right now, if we had to mark it, you've literally got higher highs, and this now constitutes a higher low. You've still got a bull trend. You are off the 18-day with the momentum flat. Your bias should technically be long, even though I'm short because of this is convictions. This is not necessarily technicals for my short. I took my long because of technicals, and that burned me. So fat lot of good that does. This one is again should start to break down. You should be beginning to see that, but you're in a bit of a rough patch because, okay, so your trend is up, right? Higher lows, higher highs, right, off of that. It's barely that, okay? If you're looking at me and thinking I'm an idiot, it's not very much that. It's still mostly void of trend. Your problem here is your momentum is slightly up, but it's flattening out. Okay, and then the other thing is you're pretty close to an oversold condition, so there's not a lot of room on the downside as far as that goes. Now again, I'm seeing SPY between this trading range of 390 and 400, so my only real hope for my 390 put is that we get down there in the morning. Again, could happen. Stranger things have happened. 393 is a strong support for this, so again, we will see, but momentum is definitely headed in the downward direction or in the upward direction. So you've really got a spot where, if I was honest with myself, now that I think about it, I shouldn't have traded at all because you're void of trend. Your bias is still up. You are struggling. This is at the mean. You're struggling right there, but your trend your momentum is up. So I don't have momentum in my favor. I don't have the trend in my favor. The only thing I have in my favor here is for the long side is above the 18-day moving average. I got a recipe for disaster, I would say. So I guess if I'm mad at anybody now, I'm now mad at myself, which I don't do that anymore. So again, it's been rough because there's no follow through through. You're stuck here. You're stuck through all of this, and it's tried 1-2 times to break up to the top. It should be selling off from a technical standpoint, but they are just holding this thing up. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. As far as what to expect tomorrow, again, I'm expecting a gap down. I'm expecting them to try. I think that they have things moving in that direction. So I'm definitely expecting, I expect the momentum on the K line to cross over the D line. So I think that you should get some downward mobility, which should at least get me even on my put, if not profitable. Anyway, so as far as all that goes, what do we say here? Oh, end of the day. So, Russell Journal, written, edited, hosted by me, Russell Liss. We're produced by Social Media Shows. Executive producer is Maria Pereza. If you are interested in ranting like a lunatic on a screen, you should check out socialmediashows.com. They can help you really rage. And until tomorrow, pretend I said some sort of catchphrase.